Myoko Kogen is a powder wonderland for snowboarders and skiers all over the world. Located in Niigata Prefecture and only 2.5 hours away from Tokyo, this has to be one of my favorite places for the snow season. Let me tell you why so many other people are falling in love with this amazing place. You may have seen the viral videos of record-breaking snowfall in Japan, and Myoko is another lucky place to experience it. Thanks to the cold Siberian winds picking up moisture over the Japan Sea, this is an absolute powder paradise. It's said to get up to 14 to 15 meters of snowfall every year. Myoko Kogen has several different areas and 5 main ski resorts: Akakura Onsen, Akakura Kanko, Eki Net Onsen, Myoko Suginohara, and Seki Onsen. Myoko Suginohara has one of the longest courses in Japan, supposedly. It's apparently 8.5 kilometers long. It's got a mix between beginner and intermediate runs and some advanced runs too. I'm honestly not that advanced by myself, but I have a lot of friends who really enjoyed the backcountry here.
That's okay.
Akakura Kanko may seem smaller with only 10 courses, but it has a good mix between beginner, intermediate, and advanced runs. Fun fact, this was actually where I got to go down my first black diamond and do my first ever tree run as well. Undocumented though was when I fell into this little crevasse. But luckily, I was with a group of experienced friends who managed to coach me through it all. But we do have some embarrassing photos of it, so.
Your legs up and then like underneath. You got it. Hold on to my skis. Why don't you hold on to my skis? Oh. Nope, that's not. Ah! Nope.
I did it!
You did.
I ate it a little bit, but I did it. It was much harder than the road. The road that I went on before was so groomed and like compact. So when I fell, I felt like Thor had hit my spine and I just like crack. But when I fell over there, it was not that bad at all. Yay! No tears. Yet. Also, if you come here, you gotta check out the kebab shop right on one of the slopes. It's a great spot to go to for lunch after a handful of runs. And what's super funny about this place is we even saw people take their kebabs to go on the slopes, like literally kebab in hand and snowboarding down. Alright, we finished lunch and we had kebabs. It was really good, and now I'm kind of food coloring, but we're gonna go back up. Akakura Onsen is also connected to Kanko, so you can traverse to and from both of them and even get a mountain pass so that you can go freely between them. In my opinion, this area was definitely catered more towards beginners because 50% of the runs are green. It was still lots of fun. My mouth is so frozen that I can't even speak. So here's a list of all the day passes for these resorts. It's crazy to me that the max you'll pay is about $46 a day, and even if you go to Kanko and Onsen, the pass is only about $52.50. Online, you can find some great deals like this Mount Myoko 3-day pass that includes the bus fare as well, and that's about $216. Alright, speaking of buses, let's talk about getting around. To get to Myoko Kogen, I would recommend taking the Shinkansen. From Tokyo Station, it's about 2.5 hours and about 9,000 yen. I always recommend booking in advance on websites like Eki Net or Klook, or you can even buy them in advance at a Shinkansen ticket machine at some JR station. So now you're at Myoko Kogen, I would 100% recommend renting a car. Of course, you can take advantage of the public transport system like the buses, but in my experience, I've seen a lot of people waiting around for them. Myoko is building in popularity every season, and the town just seems to be developing a little slower to accommodate with all the demand. So if I were you, I'd recommend renting a car. If you can't rent a car, then of course, take the buses, or you can also book taxis in advance. If you plan on renting a car, I would advise you do it well in advance. As of now, there's only one rental car company I can see listed online that's near the station, and as a result, they can book out quite quickly. So I made the mistake of not renting a car early enough in advance. So in my last trip, I had to rent one from Juetsu Myoko and drive 30 minutes down to the area. If you need to rent any gear like snowboards or skis, there are plenty of rental shops around town. They all differ in prices though, so I would advise to shop around and look for the best deal. I personally have my own stuff, so I bring that, but I know some friends who have rented from the following places. There's a bunch of accommodation options popping around Myoko. I personally love Sugi Chalet run by Escape Myoko. It's great for large groups, it's newly renovated and has a lot of charm, and a huge plus is that it's ski in, ski out right next to the Suginohara slopes. The owners are super lovely and so friendly and welcoming. They even own one of the best pizza joints in Myoko, 2 pints. 100% would recommend to also check out while you're there. This season I went with a group of 17 people, which is huge, and I booked last minute, so we ended up staying at Greenbell. It was a little bit cramped for all of us, but still definitely did the job. We ended up getting 2 of these chalets and splitting in 2 groups. Booking last minute is really rough because the options go really fast, and if you don't have a car, it can be really hard to get to and around some of these places. Like I mentioned before, Myoko is still developing to catch up to the growing demand. This means that there aren't as many food, restaurants, or even convenience store options. If you're traveling in a smaller group, you could get away with walking into some of the restaurants, but if you're a big group, you might need to reserve in advance. I recommend 2 pints, which I spoke about before. 10 out of 10, get the dessert pizza. It's so good. Another great option is to cook. If you're staying at a chalet, there are usually enough amenities and tools to whip up something yourself. This is exactly what I did for the last trip. We had 17 mouths to feed, so we headed to the supermarket. Of course, there's also food at the resorts, which make for really good lunch options. Here are some of the places that I ate and how I would rate them. For Akakura Kanko, I went to the restaurant by Yodel Lift 2. The tonkatsu was surprisingly good, but the chips were a cold disaster. At Akakura Onsen, of course you're gonna know I'm gonna mention the kebab shop under the Kanko Hotel. It's 100% a must if you're going to Akakura Onsen, or Myoko in general, to be honest. At Suginohara, I went to the ramen shop. There I got a soy ramen, which was pretty decent, and the servings were huge. I was really sad because I wanted gyoza, but there was no gyoza, but you know, I'll live. There's actually a crepe shop right outside of the ramen shop, and it's actually so good. I got the chocolate and banana crepe and it hit so hard, and the wedges were crispy. I feel infinitely better with food in my stomach. Yeah, I ate the ramen the fastest out of everyone. It's crazy. But now it's time for crepe. Oh, they walked away. Crepe. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Crispy! It's crispy?
Finally! 9 times out of 10 we get great.
Yeah, they're pre-made.
Alright, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are still here tuning in, hope you guys enjoyed this Myoko Kogen snowboarding guide. I hope you add it to your list of where to go during the next snow season in Japan. It's actually one of my favorite places, so who knows, maybe in next season you might see me on the slopes. Let me know down below if you have any questions about Myoko Kogen, and I'll try my best to answer them down below. But that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye!